Hi, Lark. James here. Nice to meet you. First time I've spoken to you in person.
Nice to meet you, James.
Nice meeting you. I was watching your live just now. You always do lives, huh? Like every few days you have like a big live. 60,000 people join your lives. It's quite a
Yeah,
lot.
it's been pretty crazy. I mean, the average is sort of probably 40,000 views, with maybe 5 or 6 thousand people watching at any given time during the live stream. So yeah,
Do
it's
you
been
also
it's been
get this
awesome.
super buzz when you have lots of people in a live? You get this like buzz, like your. Do you have this feeling? I'll put headphone.
No, not anymore. Maybe back in the early days, but now it's just kind of like, all right, let's go. Every once in a while, I think, like, holy crap, 60 people, 60,000 people watch this live stream. Like that's a lot of people. It's a stadium full of people. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's a massive
But
stadium full of people. The
yeah,
biggest
it's
stadiums are
crazy.
like 80,000, 100,000. So it's like the biggest, these giant stadiums when you see, it's like that.
It's crazy perspective to think about sometimes.
Yeah, you don't feel it as like you don't get it on video because it's different. It's not like in real life. Like if you were in a giant stadium, 50,000 people, it's like whoa. I spoke once at the F1 at a crypto conference, like Formula One, that had like 20,000 people or something. And I was like, oh shit, I talk to these amount of people nearly every day on my socials, but in person, it's a very different feeling.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the interesting thing about a live stream is you get real-time feedback from people, right?
Yeah,
People are
yeah, yeah.
there sharing their opinions, you know, giving you a hard time about stuff, complimenting other things, sharing their takes,
Yeah,
shilling their coins. Like it's a good time.
in the bull market, they love you the comments, but in bear markets, if you don't call it right, it's so brutal, huh? Like people
Oh
turn on.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's investor sentiment can definitely be hard to navigate in the markets, right? Because man, crypto is a tough market to work in. I mean,
yeah,
look
yeah.
at look at this
The
year.
most
We've
difficult.
had we've had the stock markets just raging all year, and we had basically one rally for the crypto markets, and then ever since March and April, it's basically just been most altcoins trending down, except the occasional sort of
Yeah,
pump on
meme pump.
random meme coins. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
basically been the only play for the last sort of 4 months or so. And that's rough because most people lose most of their money on these things and trying to
yeah,
find a
yeah.
quote unquote good one. I mean, good luck, man. It's the odds are against you.
Yeah, before the bull markets were more of a stable, like strong climb that anyone could come in and make good money. But now it's like a very, very like pumpy dumpy meme token, one coin pumping, then the rest kind of falling. But it's mainly, I think, because this is not really a bull market. Like it's not a traditional bull market like everyone thinks like before in crypto. It's ETF bull market. So the money is only really going into Bitcoin ETFs. And then everyone's seeing Bitcoin at all times highs and these like giant pumps. So they think that all the altcoins will pump and crypto will come after it. But it's not a normal crypto bull market. It's just a Bitcoin ETF pump. Maybe the Ethereum ETF pump changes that. That's a possibility. Let's see. Like what happens after Grayscale sells all their Ethereum.
I could see that. I could see that. I wouldn't be surprised. And it's definitely been very specific to a small amount of coins. Most coins have pretty well underperformed the market. And a big part of that is the regular person is suffering, right? So a lot of what's going on recently has just been player versus player battles of, Cabal A versus Cabal B versus regular
Mm-hmm.
retail people trying to pump and dump and or get in early on meme coins. And some meme coins build meaningful communities, right? They're not all bullshit, okay? Some of them are good, but a lot of them are crap that go to zero real
Mm-hmm.
fast. And so it's been a really player versus
Yeah.
player environment. And there's been a lot of great tech launching too. This is the crazy thing. A lot of great tech, and that great tech is getting slaughtered when it comes out to market,
Yeah. And a
almost
lot of
almost
cool
without
AI stuff.
exception.
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
like new company like ICOs or like seed these like ones that are actually building amazing tech. Yeah, it's getting hidden in all this meme coin. That's also the problem. All the liquidity is being sucked out by these like meme pumps, like celebrity tokens that they're launching and then dumping. It's like sucking up the liquidity. There's also like 20,000 coins a day now. With in 2017, there was 2,000 coins, 2,000 altcoins total
And
in the
in
whole
total,
market.
in
Yeah,
total, that's great. I know it's crazy perspective, isn't it? Well,
it's
the barrier to entry is just now so small, right? You can literally launch a token in a couple of minutes over on
yeah,
pump.fun and then, okay, I've got a meme coin. Great. It's just like that. It's absolutely insane how
yeah,
far the market has come. And it's very exciting and it's cool and it allows for so much more experimentation and all this stuff.
hmm
However,
it
it
comes with
also
a lot
allows
of
for,
problems.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of scam but I think this is just the forming of it. Like Like in the back in the day, crypto was super wild, wild west. Now it's getting more structured, more. So it's just like trending to like being professional and like it's getting there. Like now the presidents are talking about ETFs. Before it was
Hmm.
like just developers in chat rooms. Now it's like so slowly, slowly we'll get more stable, I think, more legitimate, more and it's kind of cool because then I know a lot of young people that their way of building and surviving and provide like building their dreams is through meme coins and tokens and stuff. They're like launching tokens and then using that to build like their, so I guess it's like a new I also think this is like a new UBI system. It's like a different it's not like universal basic income like everyone thinks. It's like a different like if you think of crypto as a do you have this did you have this when you started putting money in crypto that your money would just keep going up like
I,
infinitely?
well, yeah, in the
In the
in the
beginning,
first few days, yeah.
you have this like boom, you have this like bull market and then drop. But after, if you survive one bull market or two, it starts like something happens where money changes. Like it's like numbers on a digit. It's like nothing. You don't compare it to paper. You know what I mean? It's like it
That's
becomes
right.
something different.
You see it
And
differently. That's right.
everyone I know that stayed in more than two cycles, all rich.
Yep.
No one that I know that's been here since 2017 is not rich. You just have to stay. You have to learn the lessons of the market. Like they're quite
Yep,
hard,
that's right.
and a lot
Oh,
of
they
people give
are.
up.
You will be tested so many times.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for those who can stick it out, it can be very rewarding. So
And
that's very
now is the
true.
craziest time. This is the craziest time I've seen in the markets. Like the last time maybe was like 2008, maybe 2015. There was something, but this is like 2020 was crazy. 2022 was like craziest bear market, like destruction. Then we had the biggest boom ever, like stocks all time high, crypto, Bitcoin 70K, and then you have like these massive war liquidations. Very crazy. If you're not a pro trader, now is like a very, but there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of volume. So as a trader,
Oh
that's
yeah.
amazing. But you
Yep.
got to be careful now.
It's crazy to think back to 2020 and the COVID crash. And essentially from you had a year from the COVID crash until the market topped. And essentially most of that gain happened within 4 months. And that's just how crazy these markets can be sometimes. You had the COVID crash, you had a 2 month long recovery approximately, then you had the Bitcoin halving, and then markets ranged sideways from approximately, when was that, May until about October, and
Now,
then things started moving. And it just all
in
this
2020.
pain and volatility. Yeah, and that's it. And so basically had a year between the April top of 2021. I know we got a second top later because of El Salvador, but I think that if you just sold when the Pi cycle top indicator came in early 2021 and walked away, man, you'd have a happy cat. So
Mhm. I think it's the same. Like if we go by the halvings before, it's the same. It's like after the halving, you have 560 days till the top. And that 560, it happened in 2016, 2020, and it will happen. Like it's like a mathematical equation. So we're like, I think like 100 and something days into that 560-day top rally from the halving. So, and in the beginning, there's always like some massive drop, and then it like climbed up to heaven. But I think again, this time is different because the ETFs. I'm going purely on the ETFs. When the ETFs stop buying billions of dollars a day and they start selling, that's when I want to really get out, because that
yep.
means that that big force behind it that's been like accumulating billions of dollars. Like it's crazy. Like if you were here in like 2017 to say that a fund is buying $1 billion a day of Bitcoin is like well, that would be the entire
Unthinkable.
market.
Unthinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we hit it. We did it. You know, we were right. BlackRock, like in before BlackRock, it was like everything we said, anyone that was into crypto back then was right. It like
It
played
all
out.
happened. It all came true.
Presidents
It all came
talking about
true.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, default currency. Now it's going to be made into the country's treasuries. It all
Yep.
happened. Yeah.
It got absolutely crazy. And it's wild to think about how far the markets have come since I started creating content and investing in 2017. And to think between then and now, night and day, night and day. Back then there were
7 years.
almost, yeah, there was, I mean, back then you're using Ether Delta as a decentralized exchange, which is like the worst decentralized exchange and you could possibly imagine. It was buggy as hell. There was almost no liquidity, but you
Yeah.
had to get some
Yeah,
shit
that was
coins
when
there,
Binance
and
ICO'd.
yeah, that's right. Binance
And
ICO'd. And
then
so,
Binance came, did and made it so much better. CZ was amazing, like for the market. He made it like more legitimate. Because before then the exchanges were like you had Kraken, but then they would it was also slow. Kraken was probably the only totem back then till Binance.
yeah, this was back in the day of there were just so many giant exchange hacks back then,
Hmm.
2022 was about bankruptcies and frauds, right? Whereas back in like 2018, you had companies just going under for mismanagement and stuff like that, or getting hacked. You had like Cryptopia, which was a big sort of, altcoin
New,
exchange back then.
hmm
That was New
New
Zealand based,
Zealand
by the
one.
way.
Yeah, yeah,
Shout out to New Zealand. But
yeah.
yeah, I
New
mean,
Zealand
this, so
based.
this is more common to get those big hacks back then. The big hacks have kind of gone away. It's been a while since we've
Yeah,
had a
it's
big
gotten
exchange
more
hack
professional.
because
I think they
they've,
must be going after the hackers. So like
yeah,
now people are more scared to.
and they've really changed the security parameters too. So
Yeah,
that's
more
helped as
people,
well.
more smart people building
Back for the
security.
Mt. Gox hack, that I don't know. I think they had like all their security keys just sitting on like a Word doc file, or so, it was about
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
about as good as security was. Versus nowadays, everything's in a multi sigs, and most of the
yeah.
stuff is kept in cold
Multi-sig
vaults.
did a
And
lot.
yeah,
Multi-sig is
absolutely did.
amazing. If
Yeah,
any founders of projects, straight away multi-sig. Like if you have a few multi-sigs, then it's impossible. It's like much safer than the normal. Because usually the losses are when the treasury gets hacked or when the main funds of the company the project gets hacked. So if they can put that main funds in a multi-sig with like 6 people with like 4 signers needed, then that main treasury is safe. That's what all the founders projects should do. Even the big exchanges, everyone. Like the main treasury should be in a really secure multi-sig. Then you just trickle out money whenever the project needs to spend, but they're never risking that main treasury. That would be the smart.
it would be. But then, of course, we had FTX right back in the day, and a lot of companies outsourced their sort of treasury
Yeah,
management to
yeah,
FTX, and there were a lot of companies
yeah,
that either actually went bankrupt or used the excuse of FTX, like, oh, we had our money in
yeah,
FTX, now we're bankrupt. Whoops.
yeah,
We're just
yeah.
going to keep
What
the
a lot
$20
of
million
projects would
we
have done that.
raised.
Yeah, there would
Yeah,
have been a
yeah,
lot of raises that just, oh yeah, we went bankrupt with that. Yeah, they could have just
yeah.
withdrawn, and no one would know about it.
No,
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
I had some
That's it.
friends that, like for example, one guy he was back then employed by one of these exchanges, and he couldn't trade on his own exchange that he was trading on because he was employed by that exchange. So he had to trade on FTX. So he had all his life savings trading on FTX,
Oh.
and then that crashed. So it's like, whoa, like a lot of people got burnt by that, but
Hey, by
they getting paid back mostly in full.
I was gonna say what that's a crazy. We've had a lot of pain in the markets in the last few days. I don't know when you're gonna upload this. It's been a crazy few days in the markets.
Hmm.
Wild opportunity. If you had any cash, I had no cash. In fact, I had to sell a little bit to unwind some loans so that I didn't get liquidated. It's a different
Good, good.
story, but
I know a lot of long-term investors that got liquidated. Like I mean long-term. There was a few of them that have been in the markets for 10, 15 years, like really good traders,
huge
investors.
liquidations. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big one. Hmm.
So this is the
Something
thing is
big
like
broke.
generally I was pretty far away from any liquidation levels, but the paranoia, because having been in the markets for years, I know that
Hmm.
when this thing gets going, man, sometimes you start
Yeah,
getting
it can get
cascading
bad.
liquidations and things can get
Hmm.
way worse, way quicker than you think they can. It's like I just can't take the risk.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
keeping me up at night. I'm not
That's the
going to do it
good
anyway.
lesson.
Yeah, it is.
That's why
It's
that's why you've learned to that's why you that's the thing you learn after the first or second bull market. Like it can go and it's crazy, huh? It's like can be months and months of laddering up, and then one day just elevator wipe out everything. Crypto
that's
is
it.
yeah. Until it becomes more stable, that's going to be more common. But now with the ETFs, even yesterday, people were panicked like crazy. But that to me was like a
Hmm.
nice drop. It's like Bitcoin, like people don't like it can go bad, like that was a night. It was still bad, but it was like 50K bad. It wasn't 15K bad.
Yeah,
That would have been
that's it.
really bad. Okay, wait, let's not manifest.
That was
That could be
that was the COVID crash, right? That was the COVID crash where we went from
yeah,
we were at
nine
like
nine to
we were
three,
yeah, something
10
like that.
to
I was gonna
3.
say 10 to 3, but I mean that's like a six in like a day. A
Yeah,
day. It
yeah.
was crazy. You're just watching charts just going down. Like that's is it literally gonna go to zero while I'm watching this? Like that was the actual thought process. It was
Do you
crazy
know
time.
how I
Hey,
always know when the bottom's in? It's when I'm
how's
like,
that?
this is a scam. Fuck, it's all a scam. They were right. Everyone was right. This is terrible. I need to sell everything. I'm like, thank God, the bottom's in.
Oh
When I
yeah.
say that, when I'm like feeling that, I know the bottom's in. I'm like, okay, now I
Uh,
can buy a lot. But I sold
Comfy
that.
and spot, man.
I had 6 days ago. I sold like on video, sold everything. In my video, I was like making my video. I
Nice.
have these bits of inspiration sometimes. I make my video, and then like midway, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know why technicals are not telling me this, but I'm gonna sell everything. And then in the video, I sold everything, and I put my buy orders like, but I put it 58 free Bitcoin, 56, 52. They all activated. And I'm still
Nice.
active trade. It's negative 8K, but it's like 5.5 Bitcoin. So I
Nice.
caught and I got the bottom at like 49. But luckily I moved into cash. If not, oh my God, it would have been brutal because I was in a lot of Uniswap, like a lot of alts. Yeah, it's dangerous market.
It's
It's
good.
not
Be
normal.
it's good to be flexible. I mean, this market is so intensely volatile and the liquidity
Hmm.
games are so just you'll see liquidity dry up on coins so fast you can't even
Hmm.
imagine, or you'll see coins just basically go to zero
Hmm.
essentially, where you get no buyers, no liquidity, absolute mess. And you have to manage your portfolio. I've got some coins that when I was selling down to pay back those loans to de-risk my portfolio, not great timing, I know, but I
Hmm.
was looking at some of these coins, it's like
Better to
I don't
protect
need, I
capital.
don't, it's protect, exactly, protect capital.
Hmm.
I had a drawdown of about 15% of my portfolio, but I
Hmm.
protected 40 to 50% of my total portfolio. So well worth it. But as I was selling some of
Hmm.
these altcoins, it's like, I don't even care. Why am I even holding some of these coins? Like for what purpose?
Hmm.
Why am I still holding these coins? I've been holding this coin since 2021 for what purpose? So you got to stay flexible in these markets. And
Yeah,
it's
you
an
got to
important
adapt
lesson for
very
all
quickly.
investors.
And
Absolutely.
you got to
Because
realize that when that roller coaster tops, it's like like it be super fast. It's like you
yep.
got to make it. And someone told me that all the gains are made in 10 days. Like from all the years of like this last bull market, all the actual big gains have been 10 days in the market.
It's insane. It's
So it's like,
insane, isn't it? It's
yeah.
crazy to
But
think
it's
about.
nice
Hey,
if you're a good trader, this is good news. It's like you can make money in this volatility.
oh yeah.
But
If
it's
you if you
but it's
if you
difficult.
have that's right. You got to be willing to take profits when they're there and on the table.
Yeah.
I just want to say too, as a thought for everybody listening, look at what happened with that sort of meltdown we had, and just realize that that's kind of what happened to Bitcoin in 2017, December 18th, 19th. Bitcoin topped, and within a
Yeah,
week, it was down
22.
50%,
What did
something
it go
like
to?
that. It was
22, 3?
it went up to almost
20,
no about
yeah,
about
9.
20,000. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
19,700 or something like that. About
And then it
twenty
dropped
thousand
to 9
dollars.
or 9,000 and
Yeah,
like it was over the Christmas. I remember that.
yeah,
It was the
just a
Christmas
few
New Year's.
days,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like that. And it's just like there is no orderly exit at the top. The top comes and finishes way sooner than most people expect it will, and
Hmm.
you have to maintain extreme mental vigilance all the time to protect
Hmm.
your risk, to manage your portfolio, to take profits when the time is there, because
Yeah.
things can turn real fast. And suddenly one day you log back in, like, whoa, it's down 50%. What happened? And that's just how it works because there's no one at the top saying, hey, everybody come right this way. Now is the perfect time to sell for absolute maximum profits. It simply doesn't work like that. So this is
Hmm.
something for me to keep in mind.
Yeah. I usually call the tops and this is my skill. I have this ability to call the tops and bottoms. But yeah, it's most and the problem is once you call the top, like my mistake is I always call the top perfectly. Like March, I sold everything. And then yes, 6 days ago also. But then I start buying. So my trades were 58, 56, 52. You know what I mean? So we went down to
Mhm.
49. So even though I called it amazing and I bought in nicely, it still dropped from 58 to 49. You know what I mean? So I'm still, even though I sold perfectly, entered really nicely, I'm still negative like 8K on that 600 or 300K trade. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you got to, what I realized once you get out of the top, stay out as well is a good lesson. Stay out till maybe go on holiday for like two
Be
years, you know?
patient. Be patient. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Do you maintain any long-term spot holding bags, or are you just in and out of the market?
I have seed investments I don't sell. Like I have like 40 or probably 60 seed investments. So they're like in companies, in projects that are building stuff in the crypto space. I don't sell those until they're like really big. And most of them are quite within 4 years. So I don't sell those. Bitcoin, I have like some spot holdings that I don't sell. And the rest I'm actively trading as much as possible. It's like, because I know as soon as that tops in, like try to, you can roll back all your gains. Like a lot of people would have rolled back the entire bull
Oh yeah.
market gain. Even if they got in that Bitcoin at 16K, a lot of people would have, like somehow got wiped at 50K. So you have to be very liquid in crypto. Stocks I like more, like Tesla, I pick it up all the time. Whenever it goes oversold on the monthly stochastic, like Tesla, I was buying a lot at 140, like exactly the 141 bottom. So for that, I like to stocks, you can be more. Crypto is the hardest. Stocks is much, much easier on technicals, on everything, if you pick
Well,
the right ones.
the difference being stocks are much more likely to be here in a year or 5 years or 10 years. And look, Bitcoin's different. Okay.
Yeah,
Ethereum's
yeah.
different. We could probably put Solana in a different category right now. the vast majority of these coins that you guys are out there buying, I buy some of this stuff too, you buy some of that stuff too. But holy cow, man, this stuff's not going to be in here in a year, let alone 5 years, right? Stocks are
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
You go and you buy some, I don't know, some Apple stock or some Tesla or what Coinbase. It's going to be here in 5 or 10 years, right? And it's
yeah.
just not the same with these crypto coins. The liquidity
But
game,
I'm
again,
noticing
things change so fast.
the volatility on stocks are starting to get crazy now. Like before, stocks didn't drop like 50, 70%. You know, that wasn't like a normal thing. But it seems this crypto energy is like coming into the stock market now. Now you're having like Nvidia, the Nvidia dropped like 40% since its high. You know, like you're having these big, big fluctuations. So it's like where all the crypto degens have come into this. I think we're becoming the age, you know, we're the
Yeah,
money age now. So
that's
all of
right.
us are
That's
actually
right.
moving the market. And we're like
Nvidia is the
jumping
new
from
Bitcoin.
this to that. Yeah, it's like they're like everyone's moving very, very volatile because we maybe as our generation are not stable, maybe could be. Like we're moving quickly from thing to
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah.
Like next hype, next hype. That's what it
That's
seems
right.
to
We're
be. Like
chasing all the
before
time.
it was ICOs, then it was like something, then it was NF no, it was ICOs, then it
DeFi.
was before DeFi, there was the private, you know, like XVG and all this stuff. Then DeFi,
Oh, yeah,
then
gosh. Take
NFTs,
me back.
then you have like memes. So it's like we, our generation is like quickly like bored and jumping to the next thing. So it seems like that's how it's being affected in the stocks. Plus, you have these crazy valuations and like Apple's
Oh,
three
yeah.
trillion dollars. Crypto is very cheap if you compare it to the stock valuations. And you know what's crazy? The volume of crypto is massive. It's like equivalent to the volume of stock markets. So we're
It's
having
insane.
billions and we're having hundreds of billions of dollars move around in crypto markets each day. So is the stock markets, but crypto markets is only 2 trillion. So it's like crypto and stock markets are 100 trillion. So we that
If you look at this,
volatility could also be like something that's about to pop. You know?
yeah. I'm just looking out of curiosity. So current market cap's around $2 trillion, and we had $267 billion in volume in the last 24 hours, and maybe a little bit higher than usual. Let's say we're doing 10% of the market cap on any given day. Those are huge numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Huge numbers. So,
Yeah, it's like
crypto is
stock.
just a wild
It's like
asset
coming to the
class.
stock market. It's
Yeah.
coming to the level of the stock market, but the valuations are still like 50 times less than the stock market. Like Apple is bigger than all of crypto. So that's
It's
a quite
insane.
interesting. It would be
Apple,
much
Saudi
more
Aramco,
return.
Microsoft, Google, and Nvidia all singularly bigger than
Yeah,
crypto. Every coin you've ever heard of combined, bigger than. It's
yeah,
crazy to
including
think about.
Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it means
nuts.
it's still early in consideration of like that. Like you're still early to this transition of the stock market, the crypto stock market merger kind of thing. What are you holding now? Like my portfolio now, I went back into Bitcoin. I have, I like play to earn companies, like because I think gaming will be a big one with crypto. Tesla. I'm pretty much consolidated into my Bitcoin trades, Tesla, and seed investments now.
Yeah, nice. Well, I've got
Uniswap
plenty
I
of,
also like,
yep.
and Ethereum.
I've got plenty of seed investments and stuff like that as well. Sort of broadly speaking, we've got some gold. I just like having it there. It gives me some kind of peace of mind. Maybe it's boomer mentality. I don't know, but I do enjoy it. My
Uh-huh.
stock portfolio is, I'd say, about 75% really boring stuff like dividend stocks, energy companies, mining companies, stuff like that. Stuff that I can take crypto money, all this high risk crazy, and put it over
Mhm.
there and just go,
Nice.
that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's the only
I
way
can
you
just,
can
it's
have
gonna be
this
all right.
peaceful. You can
Oh
balance
my
this.
gosh. But about
Yeah.
25% of my stock portfolio right now is in Coinbase. So I think that's got
Oh,
a
nice.
great run potential. So, we're waiting
Mhm.
for that to get quite a bit
Yeah, that
higher.
would
But I
be
think,
their revenues would be amazing. Like when they
oh,
do
it's
the
been
quarterly
crazy.
earnings, the
Oh, yeah.
revenues must be crazy. Yeah,
They,
and it'll
they just
get
beat their
bigger because
quarterly
the
earnings.
volume. Yeah, yeah, it will
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
So you can so when the bull markets are pumping, the revenue for the exchanges quarter will be higher in the next quarterly earnings. So now we had a lot when the volatility. So when there's a lot of buying, selling, crazy fluctuation, Coinbase is making a lot of money. So next quarter they'll have bigger earnings than the time when there was less fluctuations.
Oh, yeah. Plus,
So
of
you'll
course,
do good.
now Coinbase is also custodying all the ETF. Well, not all, 90% of the ETFs custody with Coinbase. So
Uh-huh.
that's massive. And
Mm-hmm.
you also have their base
Yeah, it's
layer two,
become
which is getting
institution.
exactly. And now they've got their base layer two, which is, taken off and getting hundreds of thousands of new addresses every single day.
Yeah,
All the money spent on base in terms of transaction fees goes back to
it's the revenue
base.
of Coinbase.
They're making millions
Yeah,
and
yeah,
millions of dollars on that thing. So they get all kinds
yeah.
of great revenue. And so I'll probably sell my Coinbase stocks whenever I sell, the sort of final holdings at what I hope is going to be a high enough point in the cycle, right? So
I
that's
always look
kind
at the stochastic on the monthly. So if you want to know when a stock is, it's when it's extremely overbought, double tops on the monthly stochastic. That's when you want to get out. So just watching the monthly stochastic for Coinbase. Then when it's like super overbought in the monthly stochastic, that's always the time. And the time to buy in is when it's super oversold. Like Tesla was quite oversold at 141 on the stochastic. I always go by that for stocks. That one
yeah,
indicator
nice.
can tell you a lot.
Sometimes, that's what I find when looking at indicators. Sometimes you can just dial it down so much and just
Yeah, yeah.
you don't need to have 100 indicators, right? You can just have a few things that you go and say, you know what? That gives me enough guidance. Is it perfect? No, no indicator is perfect, but it'll usually give you enough guidance to let you know approximately
Yeah.
where it's going. Put that together with your vibe and your sentiment, and you're probably going to do okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it cleans up. Like you don't need so much distraction from the. What do you think about? I had this understanding today that Bitcoin, like I've kind of been blaming, like if you watch my videos now, it's like war is the reason that Bitcoin keeps dropping like every week. It's like Iran and Israel went to war, so Bitcoin dropped to 50, 49,000.
Ah,
And I'm noticing, if you think about it, that's quite cool because now every time some war goes off, before it didn't really affect people, sometimes a little bit in stocks, but you wouldn't have any direct effect from a war taking place somewhere else. But now a war taking place directly hits us in our Bitcoins. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was realizing this is, and I keep making my videos not to blame war. I mean, I don't like war. I wish everyone would get along, have a discussion, be normal adults. But it's like this will push people to be very anti-war because every time a war goes off anywhere, you get hit in the Bitcoins.
yep,
So
yep.
it could be like a world peace technology, actually.
It's quite fascinating to think about how risk on risk. Look, I mean, look at our sort of correlation with what's happening with the Japanese stock markets, right? We just go so risk on and risk off with everything else right now, and it's quite incredible to watch. Actually, it's very interesting. See
Yeah,
how
the
this gonna
markets are
how this will
very
hang out.
manipulated. This is not normal. Like I've been
Oh yeah,
trading and investing since I was like 24 years, and this is very weird. I've never seen the market act like this. It's fully pumped by the Fed. There's super money flowing around everywhere because they printed trillions and trillions of dollars. That money, they increase the interest rates because they need to dry up all that money. They need everyone to go poorer. When they say we're increasing interest rates and we're cutting inflation, what that really means is we need to make you all poorer so you can't charge these astronomical prices because you're too rich to do
mm-hmm.
anything or too rich to sell your house unless it's for $4 million. So what they
Yep.
do when they
We
say
want you
they're
to
gonna,
lose your job and lose your house.
yeah, they need to tame inflation. They're saying like make everyone drop all their capital, lose all their money, and that's what happened actually yesterday. Yesterday, Bitcoin volume was the biggest. The only other time was the FTX crash in 2020, and also the stock markets like trillions wiped out. So what they're actually doing is they're cleaning all this money. You know what I mean? And in that
Yeah.
cleaning of all this excess money, they're making prices drop, which then makes inflation go down. So when people are hoping that they increase interest rates, they're playing the game between everyone's too rich, everyone's destroyed, and the markets are wiped out. And they're trying to like balance it, but they don't want it to be everyone's too rich because then inflation goes higher. So the markets now are like in a full-on socialist communist game. It's not like a free capitalist market. It's like just some
The
guys.
ultimate Ponzi scheme.
Mhm. Now is a very weird time, but also you have nowhere else to go. Like besides American stocks, if you were in any other country's stocks or currency, you got whacked. You have like Bitcoin, which is like massive fluctuation. So you have the option of some tech US stocks and Bitcoin and some altcoins. Like, but for safety, people don't really want altcoins because they want like some
They're not
stable blue
safe.
chips. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
there's
they're not safe, man. Altcoins are the far end of the risk spectrum. I like to think about it like this. When you
mhm,
talk about like risk
yeah,
spectrum and all that kind of stuff, you have the S&P 500, which is kind of the
super
safest
safe.
investment, whatever, right? And then you
Yeah.
go, okay, one step away from that, like sort of a beta play, we're looking at tech stocks. Then okay, what's a little farther step away from that? You have maybe the Russell 2000, probably like, Bitcoin, right? And then, okay, what's a beta to Bitcoin? Ethereum. What's a beta to
Mhm,
Ethereum? Solana. What's a beta to the rest of that? The rest of the altcoins. What's a beta to that? Meme coins. What's a beta to that? NFTs, like the
yeah.
absolute
Yeah.
extreme, right? And so you kind of go down this risk spectrum. And when the top starts moving down, everything else cascades down in terms of volatility. And of course, when the top pops back, the rest of it pops back more volatilely as well. That's kind
Mhm.
of the way I think about it anyway.
Interesting. I like so for me that that spectrum down there is, if you don't have much money, that's the place you can make money. Like if
Oh
you have
yeah.
no money, being up here is absolutely not like if you put $1,000
Yeah.
into Tesla right now, it does absolutely nothing for you in 5 years. You know, like you have
Yep.
like $3,000. It's not like so. The only way
Yeah.
that that's the problem actually. It's made everyone into these degenerate gamblers because the only way they can like get out of their trap is to try and like play with small money on some very over leveraged like
You
hopium
have
kind of
to.
thing. Otherwise, they have no choice.
You
That's the
have to.
problem with what's been happening. Before it
You
wasn't
have
like you could invest in some cool like Tesla and then you make 10x. You can invest in something else like Coinbase or make, but now it's like you have to invest in this like crazier stuff if you have, it seems, or become very good at trading. Those are the only two ways if you have small capital or the long term 40 years work, DCA, Tesla, Bitcoin, and like that. But the new generation, they don't want that. They don't want to work 40 years for anybody every day on it. Like it's like
Mhm.
that's the old world. Our generation doesn't fuck that, you know what I mean? We're like it seems like we want this like so I'm thinking it's just a UBI, like a way that when everything's becoming AI, robotic, taxis, we have this thing that we like to do, which is this trading, crypto, meme coin, gambling markets. So we're doing that, and it seems like if you ask most of my generation, like our generation, that's what they're doing. Like a lot of my friends, the way they make money is through crypto.
Oh yeah.
They like quit their jobs. They're like, it's like our whole generation is becoming this like crypto meme coin traders. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
The Fed has forced everyone to be a
Yeah,
speculator. It is really what it
yeah,
comes down to because they're
yeah,
debasing the
exactly.
currency so hard and so fast. You can't just work a
Yeah,
regular job and get ahead anymore. I mean, it's not our parents' era where you just go out and one guy could go work the job and you get the house, you
yeah.
get the car, you send your kids to school. No, now you got to work three jobs, both you and your wife, and you're still not making ends
By
meet.
design,
And
they're
that's
doing this by
by
design.
design,
Yeah,
exactly. Of course, of course. James,
yeah. It
I'm
was
gonna have
great
to run,
talking to
man.
you.
I
Yeah,
gotta go play
love
with the
talking.
kids. It's time to talk
Cool,
to the kids, man. But it's been awesome. Thanks so much for having me on.
awesome. Thanks for talking. See you soon.